now tuned into the truth frequency.
Your protection from deception. This is Truth Frequency Radio.
When you finally boil it all down, magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. Shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. What is up, everyone? My name is Frank Castle, and I'm your Sorcerer Supreme every Saturday night, right here on the best lineup in radio on Saturdays. And this is my show, Fearless. You know what? This is our show, Fearless. And I'm sitting right next to my etherical translator, Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
How you doing, Paula?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, too. But before we say anything more, I want to say what's up to Chris and Sharigio. Right. Thanks, guys, so much. We love you so much. Thank you for this opportunity. It's 2018. We're still doing it. We're strong and stronger every day. Thank you so much. If you like any of the music you hear tonight on the show, HeistClick. That's Heist Click. Heist Click. Don't forget to check out wearefearless.com for all kinds of great designs, T-shirts, posters, pillows, basically products, all yoga pants. We're getting socks.
Oh, coffee cups.
Cups.
And all the designs are great. We have a hoodie. I posted a picture on Facebook tonight of my T-shirt that Frank got me for Christmas, and then we have a pillow from one of the artists. I mean, the stuff is amazing.
I'm absolutely shocked because we talked about this. You're like in the very beginning when we were first starting the show, we already had the idea, but we didn't know how to flesh it out, and we didn't even know. The idea turned into this, like what we have now.
Yeah.
And it was just us saying, hey, it'd be great if we could
do this.
Put stuff on shirts to take back, like, all right, like they've corrupt, when I say they, I mean society and et cetera. They corrupt stuff and they take it and then it's used against us. And I'm like, we could take those symbols back, put them into the shirts, the designs, the whatever, in the stuff, and have our own that we're pushing back out there. So then when people see that symbol, that sign, and they go, no, I know that. That's a good thing.
Well, that's why I love the DMT T-shirt, because it's like the old Run DMC T-shirt. Mm-hmm. And your brother was wearing
the throwback.
The T-shirt. Yeah, wearing the T-shirt for his Red Cup review that he does.
Right.
And people just love that T-shirt.
Well, it's the old Run DMC design.
Yeah.
So for like T-shirts that came out, and then we mixed it with the hip hop a little bit. You know what it is? We're taking back the culture that's just run amok and gone crazy. And the artists that work with us, they get free reign, just make sure it has something to do with what we're doing. And then they get 50% of everything right up front. Here, take it. Because what's happening is, as an artist, you don't have time to do your art, become the businessman, become the guy behind it, the guy that talks on the radio, the guy that advertises it, the guy that has to be there on time to do all this stuff. There's just not enough time to do that and create. So what we're doing is we're taking the best of what we can do, right? I talk, I'm out there, I'm right. Fearless. All right, you guys are the artist. We're all creating things together. Serge works in the background. He was like the glue that brought it all. He was the magnet right? He just
Yep.
brought us all in together, and everyone can just work on what they do. One of the cool parts, I know nothing about graphic art, but just from watching the artists, we have a family here now, a tribe of guys that are just absolutely fantastic. I could go on all day about this. I want to get into the show. Check out wearefearless.com. So many great designs. This is beautiful. I would say I'd want to cry, but I just came from a wake. Another family member died in his sleep with a sleep apnea machine on his face, but loaded with pills. Loaded with opioids. Now, we've had multiple shows this year where we discussed how many people died that we know. We had Fearless tribe member die this year. All right. So it seems to be an epidemic, a problem beyond problems. I can't even work with someone that has an opioid problem, right? Like say you're, all right, let's get gross. You're shooting heroin. You can't have any heroin in you minimum 30 days to work on ayahuasca if you're going to work. I mean, you can't have nothing in your system. So then people are like, yo, I'm off it, but I've been taking methadone every day. The answer is no. You can't have this stuff in your system. This stuff's a killer, right? So there's a battle that rages in your body when these two chemicals collide, right? Some people have claimed that everything goes black and white and fuzzy, and there's like a war that takes place, and they're just sitting in the middle of the war, right? Like both sides are battling for control of your body. I want you to understand what I'm saying now. Battling for control of your body. Right? I didn't even say you're battling control. These things are battling for control of you, for control of the receptors. Take your body back. Take it back. It belongs to you. It's your birthright. I know it's easily, we're in a lot of pain. We're all wounded healers. We know what we're talking about. I had a busted neck and back, damaged for life. You're done. We're going to just chalk Frank up to the statistic. And I'm like, nah, man. Nah. You don't get to tell me I'm a statistic. You don't get to tell me nothing. As a matter of fact, you're done talking. I'm not even listening anymore. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to heal myself. Well,
as best you can. As best you can.
But Frank, but Paula, that's impossible.
No, it's not.
What's impossible? Well, you're healing yourself. There's no way to heal the damage that you've done. I'm sorry, but you're beyond fixable unless you have surgeries and all kinds of stuff. And bam, I'm sitting here in front of you. Here I am. Do my feet work? Yep, they work fine. Everything works. We're on this path to self-healing. You have to want this. We're not here to just, all right, I feel like we drone about this, but 9 to 5. So many of us are worried, how am I going to get anything done? Frank, you do nothing, or you're home all the time, which I'm not working like a 9 to 5, but I'm working all the time. This is all I do is stuff. Okay? All right, so they're like, but you have the time to do this. I said, no, I take the time to do this. I don't sit in my house and meditate for 16 hours a day. I don't drink ayahuasca all the time. I don't smoke DMT all the time. As a matter of fact, I don't do that all the time. This is the tool to get me where I need to be all the time. By myself. Saving myself. Eating correctly. Becoming healthy. Becoming smarter and wiser and more intelligent and making more intelligent decisions and stop making the same stupid mistakes over and over again. And then you're not in a...
And that's key. Stop making the same mistakes. There's nothing wrong with making mistakes. But if you're finding yourself in a loop or a pattern, that's when you really have to say, honestly, when you're alone with yourself, honestly, that's when you have to say, what's going on here? I'm repeating these patterns and I'm continuing to make the same mistakes. Just be aware. Just be a little more aware than you were the last time you made the mistake.
Right. So we're stuck in a circle. You draw a circle on the page. right? So it's down on the piece. You get a piece of paper and a pencil. You draw the circle. When you make the same mistakes and you know better, but you still do it, and you understand that the pain pills, you'll get addicted to them, et cetera, et cetera. It's all these decisions, right? And then you got to start making the right ones or better ones for you, right? So now you're on this circle and you're going around and around the circle, making the same mistakes, doing the same stuff. The more things change, the more they stay the same, and blah, blah, blah. Do something different and watch what happens. The circle that you're traveling around in now raises off the page, right? And becomes this 3D spiral.
Right.
And you start to spiral upward all of a sudden.
Up and out.
Up and out of the mess we're in. You're in a low density vibration, a low density vibration frequency. You're sitting in it and you don't even realize it. And then all you do is change like a few things. You know, let me smile more. Let me make sure I'm showered and shaved and so I smell good and I feel good. My house is clean.
You know,
there's no dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
Humble yourself. Do some dishes. Sweep the floor.
We talk about this all the time. People are waiting for these huge miracles to come. And it's, you know, I mean, if you can just be thankful for one more thing than you were thankful for yesterday, you're already in a better place than you were yesterday.
Yeah. Become the miracle. Stop waiting for the miracle. Become it.
And it really is that simple. I mean, we witness it every day. We witness it in ourselves. We witness it in our friends every day. Just making those small changes. Absolutely.
And it's so important. All right. So I'm at the wake tonight, and a cousin of mine is looking at me, and she hasn't seen me since 96. So I look completely different, right? And she's looking at me. She goes, look how you changed. Look at you. And I'm like, well, yeah. She goes, I thought you were going to be hobbled from what I've heard. I go, no, the injury's there. It's all there. She's like, you look awesome. And I'm like, thank you so much. And then she goes, the old me would just want to bite someone's head off sometimes, right? I just want to. So that's what they knew. And then they're like, what are you doing? Why? This is amazing. Like, I feel comfortable and just warm and welcoming around you. And I explained that I wanted this, that you have to go out and get it. And I had every family member who would judge you, right? Sitting there, not making one judgment.
Right.
Because school teachers, the lawyers, the doctors. And it's funny, the doctors are like, and I have a bunch of cousins that are all doctors, right? They're like, so when you coming? Come stay. We'll bring the entire sections of the family here, so you don't have to deal with that there. We want this. We think this is a good thing. And once again, it's a revisitation of the Woodstock era. Those characters are coming back. The baby boomers that went and they said, well, it doesn't work, but thank God I got money to put my kid in school, right? But now what? Now what? To some people, divorce takes place. Addictions start to come out. Oh, you got some money. Let me buy a Corvette. I'm starting to go through this manly thing and I don't understand. No, you're a warrior and you haven't done a damn thing that a warrior does, right? You did a couple of things. You did cool things and you did the right thing, whatever. But you're being lied to and you're being stuck in a system. And now you're miserable again and you're getting depressed because what more is there, right? And then all of a sudden it goes to drugs or bad habits again. And what are we doing with Aya and DMT? Well, I'm going to use ayahuasca because a lot of people smoke DMT and actually nothing gets done for them, right? And there's just nothing happens. Well, that's because
they're using it for recreational reasons, which is a big no-no with us. And, Well,
recreation in terms of party. Like we recreationally do what we have to do, but we treat it with utmost respect.
But they are going in for the shock value, I think.
Right.
Experience.
Ooh, look,
yeah,
peekaboo.
Because you're launched. When you do that, out of your body.
All right. When you do that, okay, a lot of people break through and go to a spot and they know your intention, right? So they play off it. And I hate to say things like that because even there, you very easily fooled. One of the things with Rick Strassman, the DMT spirit molecule guy, they showed me when I was under what they were doing that they weren't talking about. Right. So when I had gotten to the circle of conversation, I said, hey, you want to know that what I know? And then I brought it out on the table, and they were like, how did you know that? That's not in the book. That's not in the movie. And I'm like, I didn't read your book. And I didn't watch your movie either. They're just showing me. And apparently because of where you got your college scholarship, where you became a doctor, like you went to the college to become a doctor, my mother worked there, right? So you had lunch there a bunch of times with her.
Right.
Okay, so now there's a connection to me to you in one step. How many years later? I had no clue who you were. I didn't even know what DMT was 4 years ago.
One person connected you.
Right? And now we're back, and I'm like, hey, look at this. And they were like, well, how did that happen? And I go, well, you know, it's all happening now. It's not time travel. It's now. It's happening right now. You think that it happened in your past because it did happen in technically your past, but everything's happening now.
Because it's not linear. Time is not linear. It doesn't have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It doesn't travel along in a straight line. It's all happening now.
I told you once about I thought I met myself, but I couldn't explain it till now.
Right.
And I said it was my younger 6 or 7-year-old self, and I was holding his hand, and he was like weird with me, and I was looking at him, and he's just talking to me, and then they were showing it to me under Aya, and then it was the now, and then it was his now, and then I was able to view both. And I said, how is this possible? They're like, this is how it works. It's all going on. You're a multi-dimensional character, and it's all happening and playing out.
But it is all happening because I've experienced that as well. And when I have had experiences and they brought me back to past lives, you're recalling a memory. And I've gone to a few past life regressionists. One wonderful past life regression is Shira Adler. And the other one was a student of Dolores Cannon for regression therapy healing. And those were amazing. I mean, I would even say life-changing. But
wait, before you say the next thing, I have to ask the question because you're about to answer it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say from last week, I didn't get to ask you. Now, you've done a lot of readings, regressions, and everything in that area.
Oh, yeah. I'm a junkie when it comes to that. Okay. I love that. You want to read my aura.
You're in the FearLess side of things now.
You want to read my card. Like I was addicted to that. You know, I love that.
Here's my question. Now, after going through that your whole life, basically, or whenever you were doing it, and then just in the last few years, ayahuasca and DMT was there, right? So you're able to get that same gnosis, right? Like the information comes under ayahuasca, just like someone's reading it when you go to a regression, right?
Yes.
So what's the difference, like from a regression, let's say, to the ayahuasca experience? And is we know the charlatans everywhere, but you've had experiences where you saw what you were read under your regression, and you saw it under ayahuasca as well. Yeah, to know it to be true now.
The same past life.
Right.
So yes.
What is that like though? The difference between the two of them.
So the regression, when you're with a therapist, you're basically going under a light state of hypnosis. And you actually think that you're making it up. You know, like I remember being regressed because I had the recordings and I was saying to the therapist, come on, I'm making this up. And she's like, no, just keep talking. It's fine. Just keep talking. And when you're experiencing your past life, the information is what heals you. In this life, the information that you're receiving from witnessing it, but it doesn't feel like a memory. It's something that you witnessed during your state of regression.
Okay.
So
you're just witnessing it from like third party, like a third person
it's
perspective?
almost like a third. Yeah,
so like you're watching a movie.
Yeah, like basically like you're watching a movie. You're not really interacting. Oh, maybe you are interacting, but there's very little interaction, and it definitely doesn't feel like a memory. It feels like information that was pulled out of you. maybe someone in the chat room can help me with a better word, because for the etheric translator, can't think of one right now. But it definitely doesn't feel like a memory. It feels like something you experienced during a regression. So now, having the luxury of drinking ayahuasca, if you are, depending on what you're trying to fix. I mean, I never got to choose what I wanted to fix, because
it's the hero you need, not the hero you want.
Yeah, you know, like I went in with intentions, and they were like, "Oh, no, that's
because
not
we
gonna
always
happen."
think what we need is what we need, and they're like, "That's not what you need. That'll get fixed if we do this."
Yes,
instead.
that's not what you really need. So there were times when I was regressed to past lives. You know, Frank tells the Egypt story all the time, and you know, he makes a joke. Oh, we've known each other for 6,000 years, and you know, and then I was regressed back to when we were fish people, basically, and I was a fish. I look like an albacore tuna, and but like I was like a mermaid fish, kind of, but not pretty, like, you know.
I like how you say, but it wasn't pretty. It was like actually being the fish.
Yeah,
person
it wasn't
thing,
pretty. It was just being a fish.
People like to glorify it.
But I had my state of consciousness. And Frank was there, and we had a little baby fish swimming in between us. And that felt like a legitimate memory. I remember screaming out to Frank saying, "This goes back before they even started recording time."
They're not even recording time. And
this was like
before that.
So far, I don't even know how far back. I couldn't even tell you.
I asked one of those questions once. I says, "Man who walks in all worlds, I'm here." And they were like, "You know who you got that name, right? Like you had to actually do that." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And then there was a raindrop. And I was like, "Oh, look, it's raining." And then I was inside of the raindrop, and I was like all the different things that would be inside a raindrop. It was like its own little snow globe of bacteria and things working and moving on the microscopic level. And I had to be each thing in the raindrop, and then the actual raindrop, and then it dripped off and fell. And there was nothing. It was just rain and land. There wasn't even people. And they're like, "You had to do that first." And I'm like, "What? I was actually that?" And they're like, "You all were. You don't get, it's not like you're special. That's why they take the name away. They just say, call yourself the I am. You don't even go with man who walks in all worlds. When you announce yourself, be like, I am here." And I'm like, well, that's what you do when you come over to someone's house. It's like, hey, I'm here.
Because that's what we are, you know.
That's
exactly what we are.
I am. We are.
We are what we are, you know. So
humans put the names.
So you know, and the chat room folks are so funny. It was one hell of a date. It really was. I mean, I just met this weirdo, you know, and here I am drinking ayahuasca, and you know, he could date rape me and take all my furniture. I mean, you know, anything could happen. You know, I mean, you know. But you know,
all your furniture.
Well, no, he couldn't lift it because his neck was so bad.
I have a bad neck and back. Where am I going?
No, I'm kidding. But you know, I mean, it could have been a horrible experience, but that felt like a memory. Now, it didn't feel like a recent memory, but it definitely felt like a memory when it was happening. And those memories unlock things that we need to know now in order to do the work that we have to do now.
Absolutely. They give you the gnosis or the challenge or the next class you're about to attend, the homework and everything that you need immediately. And you're like, I don't want nothing to do with this. How's this going to help me? Right? And you're like, meh. And they're like, do it. That's like saying, look, I have a broken neck and a busted back. All right. So you're just going to fix that. And they're like, tie your shoe. Your shoe's untied. And you tie your shoe and your back and neck pain go away.
Yeah.
And they're like, look, you're not taking care of yourself.
No, the injury will never go away. But it's the manner in which you deal with the injury
and how you deal with it.
That's gonna
keep yourself together and let's go and take the next step. But you have to go through the process. All right. So we've had interesting experiences. When we come back from the break, we're going to go in 2 minutes. But we have the Hugh Hefner psychedelics with us.
And bro, you don't know.
Bro, you don't even know, bro. They were going there when we come back. I want to answer some questions that were written in.
Yeah.
us.
Oh, yeah. And thank you for all the great letters. And just thank you for just being part of our Fearless family.
Yeah,
we really do appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right. There's another group out there that's just as fearless. The Soul Quest Ayahuasca Church in Orlando. And a lot of great people down there. They got a lot of good shaman. They do a lot of good work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's right.
They're called Soul Quest. All right. I want to shout out to them. I got to mention them because people can't, you got to go where you got to go. And if they got to be reputable if I'm going to talk about them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've heard only good things, and I've talked to a lot of them. We were just invited down, and it's down in Florida, in Orlando, Florida. So check them out. They're called Soul Quest again, and if you're looking to have the experience and have it the way they do it in like the rainforest in Peru and stuff, you could do that there in Orlando.
Yeah.
Way cheaper, by the way. Way cheaper. Way safer. Right? You could have your friend come along and sit down and watch it if you need to. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a plus thing. If you're not going to become your own shaman and you just want to trust the shaman and you want to go find a reputable shaman that you can trust with your disclaimer,
yep,
this is a place where you can start that process. How's that sound?
That's a good way to put it.
You could start it.
Regular girl, I love you. I'm just saying.
Shout out to the chat room, folks. You guys make it awesome every time. All right, we're going into the commercial break. I am wearefearless.com. I am wearefearless.com. I am wearefearless.com. Shameless plugs across the board. Because we're also your protection from deception. God, I love doing this show and hearing the music and coming back from the commercial. It always makes me feel empowered to be a creator. How does it make you feel?
Real people, real radio.
Initiating the truth frequency.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
Am I awake or is this a dream? It's a dream. It's a dream. A fantasy of where I'd rather be. So come and talk with me. Come and walk with me. Is this a wake-up call from my reality? Have you seen my friends? Have you seen my girl? Wake me up from this. I'm trapped in this world. Thought you were lying.
Yes, we are back. That looks delicious. Did you bring cookies for everyone? It's like the Mel Brooks movie. Did you bring gum for everyone? It's like, no. All right. Okay, check this out. I'm going to read this to you guys. Just this little clip. This night we had something different. Matt and Kat, an amazing couple who sang amazing music, guitar, drums, diggeradoo. I don't know how to say that. Diggeradoo. I cannot explain how amazing they were, but the whole night was blowing my mind. The best part came when I felt your presence. Then Chris and Cherie's energy came in. And finally, the one who brought this all together for me, Seven Bomar. I felt like you were all actually there. I can see you all and feel your energy and thought you could feel my energy, but I'm assuming it was your higher selves. I don't know how to really describe what's going on, but I was having visions with my eyes open and closed. All right, that's all I'm going to read for that. That was a breakthrough that someone had just the other day. Someone that is a fearless family. I meet a lot of people and just talk to them. And they say, well, this has happened to me. This has happened to me. A lot of people have said to me, man, I didn't break through till I heard what you were doing. Or they got a hold on it, I guess, mentally, and then were shown. Mm-hmm. They got the breakthrough moment. But I want to share with you guys when something like this comes in, because this is by far not the first time that someone has said, oh, I brought you right into my situation when I was under ayahuasca.
Quite a few people have done it.
So Nick, our wonderful fearless artist brother, all right, he smoked one day and brought all of us in. He dropped us like a sack of potatoes at 12 in the afternoon. I just woke up. I sat down. I was hanging out. Everything was good. And I'm like, yo, I'm getting tired. Boom, I was out. And I'm having dreams of him.
Yep.
And then I come out of it. And when I wake up and he's writing me, he's like, oh, bro, I had a great experience. Brought you were there. Paul was there. I was like, yeah, bro, you brought us right in. Like, I had to go to sleep. I didn't have to go to sleep. I was going to black out if I didn't just lay my body down.
Sure.
Because that's just how it is. But we're doing it, guys, gals, everyone, creators. We're doing it. We're actually doing it. This wasn't a shock. It's not a shock to me that we are doing it. But you have to be excited about it. And I'm super excited about it. All right. Our energies are reaching out and creating the grid.
And we're reaching out to each other.
The fearless tribes are uniting.
It's not telepathic. It's not telepathy, but it is.
We're actually building a grid.
We are building a grid. I mean, you've said it quite a few times that I've come to you.
That we talked about it last week. The guy that was here. The door was closed, and he's looking at the chair, having a full conversation with you.
Oh, yeah.
And then when he realized you weren't here, he screamed your name, and then knew you were on the phone with my mother.
With your mother. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with my mother. And then the door was closed, and you had Game of Thrones on while you were on the phone, and we're out here we had music blasting. And he's shouting like, oh, all this is happening. I'm like, how the hell did you do that? And he's like, I don't know, but nothing's real, by the way. The walls aren't here. That's not real. You're not real. I'm not real, but we're real. We're real, so but Frank, I don't know what's happening.
Frank busts open the door and he goes, who are you talking to? And I said, your mother. Why?
That's all I needed to know.
And then he went, okay. And then he shut the door again.
Because it's happening.
It is happening. I mean, it's happening whether we realize it or not. And, like I say, you can believe it or not, but it is happening. And if you just take the time to...
If you're listening to this show,
take the time to pay attention to what's going on in your own life to witness
Silence your mind a little bit, right? A lot of times now, this just happened to me at the wake. My cousin, one of my girl cousins had a thought about my cousin that passed. And I went to say it, and she said it. Mm-hmm. And then I go, hey, I was just thinking about that same experience. It was a story, but I had been in that story.
Right.
So it's something I would tell, and she never talks about this cousin. So it was just, I'm like, get out of my head. And we made a ha 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 ha. But that's happening all the time. Right? Like I made the joke about my mother in the really dark supermarket that had the second-rate stuff in it. Right. And it's right next to the gym, and it's dark in there. And I'm like, we got to get out of here right now. Everything's poisoned.
The energy's very dark.
The energy's poisoning everything in this place, and the place and the stuff already has poison in it. And it's made for like the poor from the projects for people to just come over and shop in there on purpose.
No, it's not. It's just a discount store.
No, it's a discount store right there, right next to it. It's done on purpose the way they set it up. Right. You get a liquor store, cash check in place, Dunkin' Donuts. Mm-hmm. It's all the same things, but they're placed right there. And then you're in there, and everyone in there is miserable. Not to say that the regular supermarket you're not miserable, but I'm talking about the lights are even dim.
The low vibration attracts low vibration.
Exactly. And then my mother says, I need carrots. So she walks up to the lady and goes, oh, excuse me, miss, do you have carrots? She goes, we don't have any carrots. And she just took the carriage and dropped, she pushed it forward and let it go, and it just went off into the thing. And I'm like, Mom? And she goes, we have to get the hell out of here right now. And I'm like, oh, you could feel it. Okay, so let me make you aware of what's happening. And I started giving her 2 or 3 statements as we were walking. And she's like, I see it, Frank. I see it, Frank. I said, let's get out of here. All right. That's pretty crazy stuff.
All right,
but that's
and
nothing.
You especially can't be in that environment because you always pick something up.
No, I know, but why be in that environment? All right, knowing what we know, why would you do it?
Why do it?
If it's a low vibration and you know it's going to bring you down, and if you know it doesn't suit you, you know you don't really like it, what are you doing there? What are you doing there? Oh, I'm there for the other person. Really? Is it actually helping?
We talked about this. We need to, when you can honestly say, I don't care what you think. When you can be honest and really feel that way, we can say it all we want, but when you feel what you're saying, you've you're on the right path. If you don't care what people think, oh, thank you, thank you, chat room folks. You're in a good place. It doesn't matter what people think. Right. And it's a very guilty feeling.
If you go into Trader Joe's to shop like we do, right? Now, naturally, people are miserable people everywhere, right? That's not going to change. But it's a different type of miserable, right? You're in there. And you
everyone's
notice
very nice.
Everyone's very nice.
Polite, and they say
polite.
Please and thank you. And
all right, wait, that's not even it. Everyone wants to try to do the right thing. That's why they're in there. Yeah. And then everyone's looking at people. All right, I tell you this all the time. When I'm in there, people look at me and they want to watch what I'm buying.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look at him. And I notice people staring at me. Yeah. And I'll walk
in a good way.
In a good way. It's like a positive, like, oh, check that out. And then everyone's kind of doing it to everyone else instead of being like, get out of my way. Now, we do complain about that place. We go, they have no idea of like a one-way street and two-way street, right? They just park the carts right where they want, stop. Yeah. But that's it. That's the only thing. Okay, rather than being in there and being like, yo, I hate you.
Yeah,
right? I hate my life.
You know, the check.
I hate the cashier. I hate the
cashier people are so sweet. They're always very polite. Right.
So it's
just a beautiful experience.
I even said to you, I only go to my bank, and I know all banks are whatever they are,
but you
right?
Go to your
so
bank.
I have a
you
TD
like the way
bank,
you're treated.
Right? Everyone knows my name in there, right? So when I walk in, it's always a positive experience. I go in there whether I'm angry. They tone me down. Believe me, it's almost impossible to shut me up when I'm angry, right? They'll come in. Gary will come right up to me and go, oh, Frank, my brother, come over here and sit down. It's great to see you. And I go, I love Gary. Gary, I love you. It's great to see you. Listen, I have this issue. Oh, yeah, let me fix it for you. Perfect. That's it. Now my experience, even though my time was wasted, it was all right. It was good. So you got to use it one way or another so you can survive. My check's got to come in somehow, right? So I'm using that place because it makes me happy.
Right.
So go start doing things that make you happy. Don't go to those places that don't make you feel good.
Right. Don't do things that you don't want to do. Stop doing them. It's going to hurt a lot of people and what may feel like a long time. But would you rather them be happy or would you rather you be happy? And the answer should always be you. Because if you're not truly happy, you cannot provide happiness for anyone else. You cannot give happiness if you're not truly happy. You know, Frank and I
don't try to make somebody else happy. Just do the right thing.
Yeah, we don't agree with everything each of us think. We have our own opinions on things, and we just look at each other politely and smile and say, shut the hell up.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is. Look,
I always try to, when I'm service to others, right? I thought that meant, oh, what can I do for you? Are you feeling okay? What can I get you? Can I do this for you? Can I do that for you? All right. That is an annoying person.
No, speaking truth.
Okay. So.
And speaking your truth.
Sometimes I just want you to be there and hold my hand. Sometimes I just need a hug.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want you to look at me across the room and just point at me like, yeah, I got this.
Just acknowledge me.
That's it. Yeah. I don't need a song and a dance. I don't need you to pick up the packages and get the laundry. I don't need that. I need this. And understanding the differences will add bliss to situations. I was actually going to get into a fist fight this week. I haven't. And so this is just a ridiculous thing to even say. Right. And I got angry for like 10 seconds. Right. And I was like, yo, it's going to happen. Because, first of all, I am that guy at times. I can be that guy. Right. So I'm just like, hey, just keep it off my wave. And then I diffused myself. I don't even know how it happened. I just looked and went, nah. Yep. And then that was it.
Because
the nah turned into no. And then the interaction kept coming. Right now, you would say, whoa, are you a punk bitch? No, I'm not. Because I would have won hands down, 2 hands behind my back. But that does not make me a man. That makes me a punk. I'm telling you now, from the guy that's done it, it doesn't make you tough to do it.
No.
All right. All I find is all the tough guys that can do that won't drink ayahuasca because they're scared. So you're not really tough. You're not really tough. You're weak and you're scared inside.
No, I have to say, since you've eliminated this person from your life, you've been much more pleasant and easier to be around.
I was stuck in a loop. I'm going to bring this full circle.
Stress loop.
So it kept coming back around, and I kept dealing with it with a little bit of anger each time, and it was adding and adding and adding and adding. And I'm like, all right, it's going to go down right now. There it goes right there. I'm sure. You sure you want this? Yeah, man, I want this. Okay, you sure you want this? I'm sure. And then I'm like, well, I don't want it.
No.
I don't. Not only do I not want it, I don't like how I feel. I don't want it, and I don't want to do anything. I actually don't want to throw a punch at anybody. Like, I'm going to get sad. I don't want to hurt.
You're a grown man. You shouldn't be doing that.
I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt me. I don't want to hurt you, though. Like, I love you, actually, but I'm angry at you, and I want to punch you, but I don't really want to.
But the best thing is to stay away right now.
So I'm like, you know what? What have I never done before that I should always do? And it's usually what your mother tells you. She always knows best. But to walk away, right? And I did. And I walked. I did it abruptly, like a woman shopper that's like, I'm getting my money back for this piece of junk that I bought and it doesn't work. Take it back. Goodbye.
Woman shopper.
That's done. And I felt, all right, hasn't everything around here changed since
Yeah,
that?
it's been wonderful.
Because there's loops that ground you into this stuff that you don't even realize. So what do you do when there's cancer? You remove it.
I did it to you with my job and how I didn't like one of my coworkers. And I tortured you every day for 8 months. And how
I haven't been a Guido in 30 years.
How you didn't strangle me, I have no idea.
Goomba.
But, and I understand, we create our reality, whether you want to hear it or not. We do. We create the drama, we create the sadness, and we create the happiness. So start making small changes. You cannot always be in the same space that your partner is in, or your coworker is in, or your family member is in. And you have to accept that that's okay. You don't have to get down in the dirt because someone else is in the dirt. That's not where you're vibrating from. You shouldn't have to do that for anyone. You have to accept the fact that you're in a different place. And if you're in the dirt and you're the person that's not vibrating where you want to, you can't hate the person that is.
Because they're doing it. They're putting in the work. They're not blessed at birth.
We can't all put in the work all of the time. You are going to have down days, but the idea is to have less and less down days.
And the things that you're seeing on TV are things on TV. Believe that. It's just that. It's just things on TV.
Our internet went out over New Year's Eve. It was out for like 2 or 3 days.
From New Year's Eve to the Wednesday.
And it was rough because, there was very limited social media,
but you get to see the grip, the claw it has
you do.
So you go through like a day of being like, damn, I don't know what to do. It's 1 degree outside and I can't even go outside.
And what do? We argue with each other because that's the next best thing to do. And then we caught ourselves.
Yeah, we stopped
We were
that
like,
in its
no,
tracks.
it's not going to happen.
We actually turned it into something else.
Yeah.
Now, I speaking about, all right, I got a few questions here. Right. And I know I talking tonight about E.T.s and interactions and stuff. So I just want to get these questions because we only got 10 minutes left. Okay. Paula's aunt said they took down the prison grid. Do you think that means no more recycling? The direct answer is the recycling's still going on, but it's limited. The machine is on. The grid is down. So you can pierce the grid. They have an illusion grid around us. That's when people are like, when that illusion falls, when you hear us say, when the illusion falls, people are just going to freak because it's going to look absolutely different. Well, there's a grid around us. I can't explain it other than that. Your body is only aware of like the 3-4% maximum of all your surroundings. That means all your awareness is limited to just that. And there's 97% that you're not aware of.
That you're not
That's
even aware
right
of.
in front of you.
That's right in front of, literally right in front of your face.
People will smoke DMT and then they're like immediately I saw this giant monster, a big machine, and it's making a noise that's on all the time. I didn't go to the machine. The machine's right there.
And once you've broken through, that's it. You're open for the rest of your life, and you will be subject to these types of experiences when you're just waking up on a Tuesday. So, it's a fact of life. I mean, it happens here all the time.
So now, all right, just so to finish answering the question, the false light technology is still there being used, but the grid's going down. So that allows you awareness as you exit your body to see you're not strictly seeing what they want to show you.
If you choose to see it.
Yeah, if you
there
just
are
choose
some
to see
people
the
like,
light,
I don't care to see it. I don't care. I don't need
No,
to.
no.
I
If
don't
you're
care.
passing, I'm saying,
No,
are
no,
you
no,
going to get sucked back into the recycling?
No, absolutely. No.
That's what we're talking
No,
about.
you can't be sucked into the recycling if you're awakened.
All you have
if
to do
you're
is look
awake.
around and notice your surroundings. A lot of times you're in a frightened moment. You don't know what's happening.
And
They've
ground
showed
yourself to
me
something.
infinite times that happening to, and each time I'm stunned.
Mhm.
I'm like, damn, there it happened again. And I'm
Mhm.
like, well, I'm not recycling this again. Boom, recycled.
Yep.
My first episode, I talk about the recycling machine was on the backside of the moon. They just turn it on. It looks like a vortex. It doesn't hit the whole planet. It hits sections, almost like it's like a fire hose that works in reverse. It's like sucking in like a tractor beam.
Are you sure it was vortex and not a portal?
All right. So does drinking Aya open you to ET abduction, or does drinking it simply allow you to see what's been happening to you all along? Come on, etherical translator.
I think it's everything.
Right.
I think Aya definitely shows you things that happen to you all along.
If you're being abducted, you're being abducted.
I was abducted.
I was
abducted. I witnessed it. I felt it.
Paula, forget. You don't even know how
I'm just gonna glaze over this. I was abducted. It happened. I talk about it on the show. I gave birth 14 or 15 times, and I felt it in every bone and every muscle in my body. I felt it. And I don't know if it was past, present, or future, but I know it definitely happened, and it was definitely in one of my available lifetime of memories.
Yo, tonight, I was the shaman in this experience, and they allowed me to watch it, and I freaked out. And they said, you cannot get involved, but you can hold her. And I sat next to you, and it was you now.
Oh, I know.
So it wasn't like another Paula or another version of the light being.
But it's always
It
now.
was you.
So it could have been now.
Yeah, but it looked still exactly like you.
But it's always now.
No, I know that.
I know, and it looked exactly like me. I know, chubby Paula. But this is the way it is now. So...
Well, that would make me think that could be happening.
It totally could have happened then and there when I could have been experiencing it while it was actually happening. That's how close the dimensions are, and being awake, being awake. There's so much bleed through in your normal, everyday, day-to-day activities.
Oh, whether
you choose to accept it or not,
it's like
there's
a new
bleed
program
through.
that's going to start. It inseminates by it like a drop, a drop until the faucet's completely on.
Yeah,
and it's just running all the time.
Baby steps.
Yeah, so it says. I remember Whitley Strieber saying he screamed at the E.T.s when he was abducted. You don't have the right to do this. You don't have the right to do this. And they said that they did. I had a statement about that. We don't know who's running the human uniform on these people, first of all, right? So we're not all creators in here doing this. Some beings are just other beings in the body. What I've noticed is to beat the law that doesn't allow you to interfere and stuff, to beat that law, these beings, interdimensional beings, will come here, and one of them from the ship will agree to come down and go through the birthing process in the planet, and then in that contract, it's their people, and they come and abduct their own people, right? So they can get the genetic harvesting that they need. So,
this is your opinion.
No, this is just what this is. Yes, no, it's not even my opinion. This is just what I've. A lot of other things could be happening as well. This is just one of the things I'm speaking of. So I'm saying we don't know if Whitley is actually one of them, and that he, I told the story about the guy in here. I said it earlier tonight. The doctor and his cousin. The cousin was like a kid that looked like a bebop kid, all fidgety and stuff. And then there was a big Guatemalan doctor here. and he smoked and jumped up and said, dude, I'm made of light. You're made of light. And then he started choking me and was going, what the hell is he? We got to do something about him. So I'm like, sit down. I get him to sit down. I smoke a hit. And I look over and I see a beautiful light being, by no doubt a light being, but it was a giant insectoid running the body. And the kid was unaware due to the amnesia. So as the kid was fidgeting around, the bug was moving just like the kid. So all I'm saying is we don't know who's in there.
Oh, no.
So if
no
those
idea.
could be your own people abducting you, that's how they get they skirt that natural law. So there's no karma reattached. They agree to do it to themselves.
Right.
Some of the stuff that's happening.
Sure, you sacrifice
is
yourself.
That. Exactly. And then when you die, when your character loses the skin suit, they bring you back on board wherever they are. Now I know that sounds far-fetched and stuff, but that's one of the look, everything's real, right? So why isn't that a possibility? Right? I just want to say that though, so you know what's going on. So when people have abductions sometimes, lifetime after lifetime after life, I was on the ship with Toth and they're like, dude, you're from here. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. He said, dude, he didn't call me dude. He said, you stand right there. That's why you love where you're standing. You love the symbol. You're like, oh, look at the symbol. It's so beautiful. It's glowing. It's orange. It's awesome. He's like, yeah, that's your symbol. And I looked and it was all over my body. And I'm like, oh, this is my spot. And he goes, and this is my spot. You projected in from here. And then you're actually still inside the nature program at that point. And I've broken the reality wall to see from further where I'm projecting in from. All sounds far-fetched and crazy. How many of you out there have experienced this? Being inside the tube that you described when you were having the children, right? It's like a big white canister around your body, right? And then it just fills with fluid.
Another reason I don't swim.
Right? And then it's not like you're drowning,
And
you're
I
breathing
don't like
the
water
ambiotic
parks.
fluid. And you're looking up at the screen in front of you because there's a clear screen. And I thumped my head on that thing and they're like, oh, he's up, get him out of there. And it's not Matrix-like. Things aren't popping off your body with holes. Like, I looked awesome. I looked different. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, you're running the Horus program. Sit down. And then I was like, oh, there's only 7 in here. And he's like, yeah, this is you're projecting in from here. And I sat back down and I saw the whole control panel and I went, oh, I know what's going on. You're the design guy. And yeah. I sat back down, boom, came right back in. But then I came back in with Toth. And I'm like, yo. And he's like, yo, you're here now. You're back here. But you're actually now that you're in the program, you've projected into the human suit from here. And I'm like, wow. So that's density layer into density layer into density layer. So you got all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So technically, I would be their people. And I've been abducted and sampled and DNA'd, and they've tried to pull the essence character out as they do you. They wanted yours.
Well, that's what I said. They want my essence. They can't have it. It doesn't work that way.
Everything they created from you was like a half-breed thing.
It's like a copy of a copy.
A copy of a copy. Very scary stuff. But it's the truth. The truth is out there. Each one of us has experienced our own truth. Find that truth. Grab it. It's yours. It's your birthright. You should want it. Why? It could be so scary. What are you scared of? You're the creator. Time to create. It's time to do. Go do more. Go be more. We love you so much. All right, stick around. Beyond the Veil's up next. And then Paranormal Portal, then Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean. This is Fearless. Frank Castle, Paul Milo. Your protection from deception.